Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, we are going to be summarizing the developer Q&A that happened. There wasn't a crazy amount of information in it, but still things that I wanted to touch on. We're going to focus on some of the more popular questions and give you guys the answers that the developers provided to us. If you do enjoy it, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe for some more Dead by Daylight content. I do want to mention that this video is also brought to you guys by Ewin Racing. You guys know Ewin Racing for providing us with our awesome gaming desk. It is fully carbon fiber. It has an awesome place for my headset, as well as a nice little cup holder, a wireless charger, and great wire management. I absolutely love this desk, and if you guys are looking to get any Ewin Racing products, the link will be down in the description below, and use our code for a discount. So with that being said, it is time to take a look at the questions that the developers answered. Here's what we have. The first question is, when is cross progression coming? They specifically first focus on the Switch, as they mentioned that was something they're looking into, and then they also spoke about console. They plainly put that there was no clear ETA. They said that with all the DLCs in the game and everything, it's a little bit more difficult and they're trying to sort it out. And it's not solely up to them and their own decision. They have to work with the other companies. So in my opinion, this is completely understandable. When you have licensed DLCs and you're working with other companies, sometimes it can be pretty damn difficult to get everything to that point. Obviously, with new contracts that they're getting, I really hope, and they probably thought about this, that's a stipulation that whatever the DLC is has to be available to be in crossplay as well. So once they work out the back end, everything can have a green light to go. Hopefully we will see some changes to that in the future and we can get more information on cross progression. So the second question on the list is actually from me about Boon totems and Boon totems being nerfed in the game. We know that Circle of Healing is going to be getting a change from 100% to 75%. Which is, better than nothing. I'll take it. It isn't exactly the changes that I was looking for, but, it's all right. It's okay. They didn't, however, went on to say that Boon totems weren't an issue at all, and it wasn't overpowered at all, and it worked perfectly fine in their eyes. They are looking at each perk in the overall system, but there will be no major changes and nothing is planned, which is very, very disappointing in my opinion. I think the community has voiced how crazy Boon totems make them feel, and I think even survivors are realizing as well how strong Boon totems are, and just to hear that the devs aren't even planning on making any major changes to this really does feel bad. Right now, as you guys know, through the Steam charts, the DBD population is going down. I believe that this is a combined effect of the MMR and skill-based matchmaking plus Boon totems. If you queue up as a game as killer, you can just see how quickly you get into a match. There isn't that much killers playing the game because of these reasons, and obviously survivors too, because you're not really getting into nice matches. The matches you get into, you wait 5-6 minutes for them, and then you get in, and then you're playing against a sweaty killer with sweaty perks, and it's just no fun whatsoever. So in order to counter that, the survivors use what they have to their advantage, which would be Boon totems, and the killers get frustrated, and it's a vice versa. There's a big imbalance in my opinion, and it's something that needs to be addressed and fixed. Speaking of changes though, they did say that Dead Hard is something that they are going to be looking at and making a rework towards. They're specifically looking at the hit dodging effect to make it feel smoother on both sides. I know from playing killer myself, there's countless times where you hit somebody and you're like, woohoo, I finally got them, just to see that they dead harded and it was just a sound effect change. It is a pretty feels bad moment. So hopefully we do see something like that being fixed in the future. The next question on the list was from Ott. He asked for more quality of life changes. He spoke about streamer modes, custom games, etc. And they pretty much said that there's more to come in the mid future, that they have a team working on quality of life changes for us, and we'll probably be seeing this pretty soon, as their classic soon TM answer. This is actually pretty promising. I'm excited to see more quality of life changes. To be honest, those are the changes that I get most excited for. Forget about balance, quality of life changes really make me happy because it's just like, aha, this is quite nice. So, having a search bar, a streamer mode, as Oz mentioned, streamer room codes, these are all things that would work very well in DBD, and I think people would really be happy and enjoy this. So hopefully towards the future we get more information and we can get that updated. Moving on, they spoke about the early game collapse. We knew from the old developer update when it was their anniversary that they mentioned a early game mechanic similar to the endgame collapse that will instead start at the beginning of the trial. The question was, will we ever see something like this? And sadly, they said they're not doing it. They said that they are recycling elements of this, and this basically reconfirms what Matthew Cote said in our interview, that this isn't something that really worked when they play tested it. However, they are using different mechanics in order to fix that. They specifically mentioned getting something like an item before you can work on generators, and later on in this, they also speak about increasing the generator times. They said both ideas just didn't feel natural and fun, but they are recycling some ideas to hopefully make some improvements in the future. The next question was about the skill-based matchmaking system and why it's not really based around more skilled-based actions, but rather just kills and escapes, and if that is something they're going to be looking into. And the answer was pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. The chat went absolutely crazy when they gave a reference to sports and when you have your power stats and, you know, who's ranked #1 based on wins and losses, but I can go through and break their whole analogy down essentially and tell you why that doesn't work, but I think you guys already know. Skill-based matchmaking definitely shouldn't only be used on kills solely and just escaping solely, because there's so many different factors that go into the game. For example, if you literally just face camp someone and you manage to do this to everybody throughout the game, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good killer, it just means you got the kill. Same with escaping. If you literally hide in the corner and just jump into the hatch, it doesn't mean that you're a good survivor, it just means you escaped the trial. There's a lot more elements that I feel that they could work into it, but then again, maybe they know this better than us. But yeah, that is pretty much the answer we got on skill-based matchmaking, and hopefully one of these days we will see some improvements to the system. I'm sure you guys are probably frustrated on this as well, and hopefully we'll see some changes. It's been hurt in my heart. Console getting 60 FPS was the next question. Will we ever see something like that happen? They mentioned in this post that they promised something like this all the way back in March, and still, this hasn't been a reality. The answer that they gave us was that they're continuing working on optimization. They said on the GPU side it is fine, so they are now focusing on the CPU side. They went to break down that the game needs to be under 16 milliseconds both on the GPU side and the CPU side in order for it to be 60 FPS on the previous gen consoles. They successfully got the GPU time below 16 milliseconds, however the CPU time is at 22 as we speak. They said that they've upgraded to C++ in order to fix this, and in the mid-chapter patch we'll also see changes to this, and then in the near future they're going to be looking into distant objects and things that don't get loaded into the game in order to combat this. They also mentioned that for those people just saying add a low setting for consoles and low-end PCs, that works more on the GPU side, not the CPU side, so therefore it still would not make a difference. I like this answer, it makes sense, they were very transparent with it, so hopefully they can work hard and we can see some of those changes coming soon for the console and lower-end PC folks. The next thing that they spoke about were changes for the blood web, specifically reduction for the grind. Is this something we're going to see? The grind, not the blind. And they said that they're working on this to dramatically improve it, and still there is nothing to say as normal. They mentioned that the grade rewards that we did receive were not a band-aid solution by any means or anything like that. It has no correlation whatsoever, and they don't plan on removing any perk tears. You know, we spoke about this ourselves on the channel, they spoke about internally, but there's no plans for that. So hopefully we'll see a brand new improved system. You know, it gives us a lot more to speculate on what they're going to do if they're not going to be removing the perk tiers, etc. So it will be pretty interesting. The next bit of information we did receive was some killer data. We do love killer data. And here it is. It is the kill rate versus the pick rate of all of the killers. It looks like the Cenobite has the highest kill rate in the game, with Nurse having the lowest. We can't really count Nurse, so the Trickster is right above, then the Twins. And the lowest pick rate killer, surprisingly, I'm saying that sarcastically, is the Twins. Twins are, you know, just not on the list for being played, which still makes me question why they nerfed some of their add-ons. And they actually gave us a little bit of a response to that, and they said that to high MMR players that play these killers very well, those add-ons were very strong on them, which I mean, I only know about 2 really high MMR killers that play Twins, Pixel, and Lynxy, and they never use these add-ons in their lives. So it makes sense that these are only just statistic-based decisions and not decisions based on who's actually playing these killers. Yeah, they, however, did mention that the Twins are going to be receiving some changes and some quality of life love. They said after the Legion and Ghostface changes that they talked about in the past, we are going to be seeing some changes to the Twins, and it's something major. It's not going to be like a small thing, because there is a lot to look into for them, so we'll have to wait and see. But that's good to know that the Twins are going to be getting some love. The stats clearly show they're not really picked, they're not really played, so I'm excited for that. The next question was a match replay system. We spoke about this many times in our videos, and they asked, will we ever see something like this? The answer is no. They said that it's very technical and the game needs to be built from the ground up in order to do something like that. And since DBD has been 6 years in the making, it's something that they can't do, sadly. Pretty disappointing, but it is what it is. The next question was about Ghostface and the Legion. We obviously thought we were going to get this in mid-chapter patch. We didn't really see anything like that. So the question was, you know, are you guys still planning on working this, and is there any updates? They said that it's in the pipeline and it's on the way. There's no exact date. They can promise that it won't be in the next patch with a brand new killer, as traditionally these come out in the mid-chapter patches. So fingers crossed we get it in the next mid-chapter patch, which will be away until maybe March or April, so we'll have to see. They then showed us a little trailer for the brand new event coming into Dead by Daylight. This is going to be the Lurking Stripes. Take a look at the trailer. So that's pretty awesome. We got a new event coming in DBD as rumored. We know that the Huntress is also going to be getting a skin and a lot of cool things. So hopefully we'll have some good stuff for that. Next question was, will we ever see a practice mode versus bots? They said that they had this on the table, but it's almost slipping off. It's on the edge of the table. They said there's a pretty large amount of work that needs to be done and to make the bots basically intelligent. So it's something they've looked into and they need to look more into, but there's no immediate plans of doing something like that. Personally, I think this would be fantastic, even if you offer half blood points to allow the players just to practice, get better at the game, understand loops, etc. I think it'll be really, really good and people would really enjoy it. Sadly, it seems like they aren't really looking into that idea. Speaking of bots, the next question was, will we have bots that replace survivors when they DC, similar to how DBD Mobile has it? And they said that Dead by Daylight's a multiplayer game and humanity is a core aspect of the experience, so there is no plans of doing so. They said that this can get, you know, a little bit crazy when, you know, maybe you're on the hook and the bot is just slowly crouch walking towards you or working on a generator, etc. So they aren't really looking into that, which kind of sucks. I think that if they really fine tweak their system, it could be better, but they put it as it could be more infuriating than beneficial. So to each their own. The next question was, in year 7, will we see more on game health? And I do want to highlight this one a little bit because there's a lot of misconceptions on what people say. They said that there's separate teams working on both of these. They're always focused on different content, and more focused content like this will be in the summer specifically. But they said that they're always working on game health. The common misconception is that there's just one team working on literally everything. I see so much people saying, stop working on cosmetics, work on game health, work on balance, work on patches. There are different teams that are responsible for different things. So I just wanted to clear that misconception up for you guys. The next question was, will they be fixing survivor spawns, and the hex totems, will those spawns be improved? They said these things are really slow, but they're looking into them. They mentioned that it's a little bit difficult to just say, don't spawn next to a hex totem or don't spawn to a generator for a multitude of reasons. By process of elimination, you will then find out where a survivor or a hex is spawned if you are aware of your surroundings and your map, and then that also leads to very small areas where you're going to be facing. So it does suck in that regard. So they said that their better solution to this is that when maps are coming out, they are going to be working on better hex totem placements, or totem placements I should say, so that way it can be more beneficial when you do end up cleansing or blessing or whatever the case may be. The next question was, will we be getting a roadmap? We do like the roadmaps. It gives us a nice idea of what's to come into the game and what to expect throughout the year. They said that normally throughout the anniversary, this is when we're going to be seeing things like that. And sadly, they don't know if we're going to be getting one with this update or this anniversary event, which does suck. I do like the roadmaps. The next thing on the list is the cheater issue, if we would get any acknowledgement of it, etc. They said that, you know, they always want to prevent cheating and they are looking how to fix this even more and more. They said that cheaters are always looking for a way to get around. So if they specifically mention some of the things that they fixed, that cheaters will instantly just go and try to find a new way, which does make sense. So they said that they're always under the hood looking for changes and looking for fixes and constantly putting it into the game. They also mentioned that they're going to be using the epic version of the anti-cheat for the Stream Deck, and this way they can not solely just rely on the anti-cheat but have some more patches in the game itself. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good answer. You know, cheaters will always be in the game. Sadly, the cheating issue has gotten a little bit out of hand, so hopefully they've patched up those easy loopholes and we can see a lot less cheaters in the game, because my god, can it be frustrating. The next question was about the slowdown of generators. We spoke about this a little bit earlier as well. They spoke about the early game mechanic, maybe just adding some more time. As I mentioned, they said they play tested it, they rejected it, it wasn't fun, but they did say that gen timing and slowdown is something they're talking about internally right now. They also said that they are looking on the meta for both sides, the perks that are there, you know, the corrupt intervention, the pops, ruins, and the survivor side. You know, they are looking into this and they are planning on fixing it. So that is pretty good. You know, I'm pretty excited about that. Hopefully we get some major changes that really shakes up the meta. Next question on the list is, will we see the old Moris get reworked? They said they want to do this, but there is no timeline. The next question was on face camping. Is there anything that they are doing to combat this? They said they are play testing things now, but nothing to share at this time. The next question was about weak killers. We spoke about this with the twins and nerfing their add-ons, and they said that twins are a great example. They're not picked as often, they don't have an effective kill rate. They still chose to nerf them. Why? Because players at high MMR basically use some of these add-ons and go pretty berserk with them, so they have to give some nerfs. And again, as I mentioned, Pixel and Lynxy are the only two people that I know that played a twin. So you guys, I'm calling you out, are single-handedly responsible for messing with the twins add-ons. Just kidding, of course. New game modes was the next question, as we always get. And they said that, you know, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. Before we got a pretty much no, now there's a chance. So, you know, odds are improving. Odds are improving. The next few things were killer stats, or map stats, I should say. Sorry. About the maps that are survivor and killer based. So Midwich is the map that killers tend to kill the most with 62%, and survivors, there's only a kill rate of 50%, meaning survivors escape the most on the cowshed. So that's pretty interesting. There's also a new Bloodpoint code that says LIGHTSCAMERABP for 100,000 blood points. You guys can add that in to your grand total. The next question on the list was a search bar. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, quality of life changes are coming very soon, both for PC and for console. They mentioned that they are going to be cleaning up a lot on the perk-based system, and that we will see a lot of quality of life improvements on this. This is pretty good. I'm pretty optimistic about these patches. This is really awesome. It probably means that we're going to be getting presets that we could just run on every single character. If they're not solely adding a search bar. Maybe we still do see that search bar, but preset classes would be quite nice, so we don't have to always scavenge for perks. And obviously we now have the numbers in the bottom. They might look into that a little bit more, but that is pretty cool to know. And there you go, guys. That is pretty much all of the things that there was mentioned in the developer Q&A. I try to summarize that as best as I can, and I hope you guys did enjoy. Those were all the important bits. There were a lot of questions that we did just toss out of there because I thought they were just meh. But I think these are the most highlighted questions of this. I may have missed a few, and if I did, you are welcome to leave it in the comments section down below. But my friends, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for this. Let me know if you guys did enjoy. What are you most excited for? Did you gain anything from this developer Q&A? I hope you guys did enjoy as always. I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.